What fire springs forth? What bile does bubble? The black moon swings in the sky, stirs trouble. By violent ends, we kill the light. Through the shadows, madness beckons. Weird at night.
1, 2, 3.
You think so? I do too. No. It's funny. It's funny. They're pathetic. It's hilarious. Hey, everybody, what's up? It's Patrick Galactic, and you're watching Weird at Night. How the fuck are you? I'm doing pretty good. You may wonder why I'm not a little more trembly, scared, shaking in my boots over these threats from our corporate benefactors, former benefactors, because they're no longer filling the coffers. But I had a thought the other day. False prophets make false promises with contempt behind their teeth and malice behind their eyes. So friends, comrades, weird-arinos, welcome to Weird at Night, an ever-evolving ether space of cosmic and corporate reality, self-deprecating, semi-serious surreality, and some damn fine dada. Tonight, as for 11 episodes before, we find ourselves confronting a nemesis with a massive microphone and unlimited ability to interrupt our sick-ass art jams. Their name is Finecore, if you haven't figured that out yet. They're threatening me. They've cut our funding. They're trying to push us into submission under their tyrannical terms of corporate control and won't accept anything less than absolute surrender. And to all that, I say, eh? We talked last episode about the history of mass messaging, Edward Bernays, psychoanalysis, etc. A lot of people came on a lot of different sides of all those things, and that's absolutely fine. But can we break this Finecore thing down using some of that same logic? Finecore came into the community kissing ass pretty hard to try and make us all think that they weren't going to change everything, or they wouldn't change anything. Then they immediately started making changes, pretending like they weren't, or acting like their system was broken, or whatever, but obviously doing a ton of interrupting. So they immediately started making changes, and then acted like they weren't. And then after we started figuring out their real history of corporate malfeasance, human rights abuses, including scalp modifications to Emmy Award winner Jon Hamm and our very own Dawn of Dawn's Long Gone Lawns, and other assorted crimes, and called them out, they switched tactics to outright sabotage and intimidation. Now they're essentially just calling us names and trying to ruin the show. But don't they own this show? If they didn't need us, they wouldn't be here, right? Why are they sticking around a community of people who don't want them here? And why are they trying to intimidate us into doing things their way? Could it be that us not accepting their help undermines the basic premise that they are sorely needed in the first place? Could it be that by doing these things ourselves, having each other's backs and watching out for each other, instead of accepting the security of Finecore's eyes always on us, we're fundamentally disproving what they tell us we need from them? Could it then be a signal to the other communities that they've invaded and overtaken already, that they aren't needed and should be banished and can be banished? So now they have to squash us to prove their dominance. There's everything on the line for Finecore. They're not really the ones in power. It's kind of pathetic, isn't it? I mean, they're not even giving us any money. All they have is contracts, which by not giving us any money, they're theoretically voiding. But we've probably breached first by telling them to go fuck themselves publicly so many times. So could it really be as simple as ignoring them and just carrying on? People with this kind of power are hurt the most by one thing: apathy. That's why all that messaging is so important, and all the psychoanalysis is so important, is to understand how people think to avoid that very thing. The methodology of a bully is the same no matter the size. The only power they have is the power we give them by relenting and by letting our fear get larger than the situation. So, like Jennifer Connelly to David Bowie at the end of The Labyrinth, I say to you, Finecore, you have no power over me. You have no power over Weird at Night. You have no power over our community. You have no power over this art. So we are going to carry on while you spew your bullshit. All the thunder rolls in the world aren't going to convince me that they aren't getting more desperate. The more we move ahead doing the art stuff they think is so stupid, the less effective their bullying becomes. And if we're not consuming their stupid shit, then they really have no power at all. So we're carrying on with the art lives, friends. Finecore, hey, fuck you. You're sad. You're drunk. Go home. What is Weird at Night? Well, great question. We're live every Tuesday and Saturday night at midnight, generally with a pre-show at 11:30. We are a late night destination for creative conversation. We talk art, music, history, whatever. Hulk Hogan movies, we're down. We talk about our feelings. We do talk about feelings, and we never shy away from getting very real. So most importantly, we're a community, not a show. Everyone watching and everyone on the screen is a member of this community, and equally important to making Weird at Night as weird as it is. If you hang out, you're going to see in this chat that our people in this chat are super cool, they're super fun, and they're super strange. So lay back and enjoy. Whether you want to lurk or jump in the chat, you can @ me and at around the halfway point in the show. We'll take a chat break, and any questions directed to me, I will answer live. So lots going on in the world, lots of people feeling lots of different ways about lots of different things. But Meredith is here to give us another perspective.
Hello, City. You sure look as ominous as Durkin at the top of the stairs did. Let's get her a press conference today. Masked up and flanked. It's a good setting. Fuck, man. Fuck. road today. And I think that's fair. If you can stay home in the Pacific Northwest today, in any of the fire zones on the West Coast, stay inside.
Thanks, Meredith. Thank you for that very informative piece. I'm really glad we aired it, and that's all I saw. So thank you very much. Truly do appreciate it. As you can see, there are forces out there whose desperation is starting to get increasingly more desperate, it would seem. As soon as I started talking about their desperation, it actually increased. I'm picking that up in the ether space. I have a very solid connection to every feeling that goes through this thing, and they are definitely worried. So let's get away from Finecore for a minute here, because fuck them. I want to talk about reinvention for a minute. Friend to friend, person to person here. When quarantine began, no matter what we said or thought we understood, I don't think it was possible for me or most people to really think of it as anything but temporary. And it's crazy because looking at my social media posts from March or April kind of feels like looking at a Facebook memory from 2013. We've been through so much as a country, as a world, as a people. And I know it feels like the world is literally on fire right now because certain parts of it are. But let's take that metaphor a bit further. So, if what's going on around us is a fire, what happens, in the midst of a fire? Obviously, everybody is scared. Everybody has to evacuate. Everybody has to abandon. So things can burn down. But, in the wake of that fire, in the debris of that, which unfortunately it just feels like we are in the debris of a raging inferno, new life can start to form. A new system can start to take shape and give new life. And I think, as pie in the sky as this may sound, I do think we can do that same thing in any situation. So if it's personal, if it's like about money, if it's about creativity, we can reimagine and realign ourselves and reinvent ourselves. We can come out of all of that stronger and more capable. And the reason I take that feud with Finecore so seriously is because Weird at Night is my creative space away from music. When COVID hit, the music industry then and now became like an extremely uncertain and scary place. Everything I've worked for the last 20 years was thrown in the air. Everything that I really tried so hard to foment and turn into something was all of a sudden just something that I didn't even know if I'd be able to do again. The only thing I knew how to do was step forward. I could never have dreamed what this would mean to me. The Finecores of the world want you to miss the way things were. They want you to run back to that same comfort that we had to leave behind. Because that comfort was based on a false pretense. It wasn't real. And none of those processes or products can deliver you home to yourself. Only you can do that. When I say art is the antidote, I mean it. When I say attack with love, as Blazing Space has lent that phrase to our community, I mean it. When I say time is your single most valuable resource, I mean it. Take this time, whether you asked for it or not, and connect with yourself. And get help doing that if you need to, because there's no, theoretically, what other time in your life could you ever have this much time to explore yourself again? Give that love to yourself. We have stuff coming up from Blazing Space, but real quick, we got to talk about some people who haven't been here for a bit. And that is the dangerously absent Gross Gorgeous. Now, that was something that I was feeling real strong about before the show. And then during the pre-show, freaking Olga popped up for a second. So we know she's alive. But if you're new to the show, Gross Gorgeous has been the house band for Weird at Night. And they suck. They're terrible. The band is Olga Lowe, whose head you see there, and her submissive hippie dumbass Jack Panda. But several weeks after Findcore came on this scene, Jack Panda went missing, along with Don from Don's Long Gone Lawns. The thing is, Don reemerged a very changed man, and Jack Panda did not reemerge at all. Olga wasn't that concerned at first because she's a narcissist and completely obsessed with her own thoughts, and she was totally kissing ass to Findcore because she wanted their kind of corporate sponsorship. Olga's a bit of a bootlicker in that way, and I think she would probably take pride in telling you that as well. But as the weeks went on, she did grow more desperate to find Jack, and eventually went insane, got fired by Findcore from Weird at Night, and for being a bad influencer. Jack is still missing, but our resident shoe dick, Steve Germany, discovered that Jack Panda is actually the great nephew of Findcore's founder, Ted. So we have a shirtless, weed-infused hippie who smells like weed and tears, walking around the grandnephew of the guy who founded the company that is trying to destroy our show. So why? What's going on there? It's been weeks and we haven't heard from Jack at all. Until last episode, Olga hadn't been heard from either, and at the very end left some weird cryptic message in the automatic writing, and then just today left a strange message in the pre-show chat. So we haven't heard from either of them any substantive way. But Gross Gorgeous is still out there, hopefully, and hopefully can be retrieved, because honestly at this point they owe me they owe me something, because I mean I put a lot of effort into finding them at this point, and I don't even like either one of them. I mean, like, I could totally understand if somebody wanted to, you know, hurt one of them, because I'd want to hurt one of them. Okay. We shouldn't talk like that. We really shouldn't, but I swear. Anyway, okay. So real quick, we're going to jump into some album recs. And I've got a few from my cousin, Alex F&V, who is in the chat tonight. First pick was Good at Falling by the Japanese House. Alex's comments were, I love the Japanese House album because it's all mood and prose. It's about a breakup. There's a twin Marika Hackman album about the other side of the breakup. And just a unique perspective of two women splitting apart but very slowly over time. It's very honest and real while also being incredibly beautiful. Also, George Daniel, the 1975, produced it. So that was a further plus for Alex, because Alex is a huge fan of the 1975. And she has some recommended tracks, which are not in my notes here, but I'm pulling them up. So bear with me one sec. For Japanese House, Alex recommends the tracks We Talk All the Time and Lilo, or Lilo. So check those out. The next pick from Alex was Christine and the Queens. This album's called Chris, and it's a double record. The first half is mostly in English. The second half is the same album in French, and Alex loves it because it's a very queer album where Chris, whose name is actually Eloise Letizier, debuted her Chris personality as the real her, and she wrote an album all about bending the definition of gender and what it means to be masculine or feminine, and how that equates to sexuality and what's expected of our emotions if we just be who we are. Very, very cool. And Alex recommends the tracks $5 and Doesn't Matter. And then I had to do it. I've been listening to this album. I haven't listened to it for a really long time. And it is my second double pick for Weird at Night Selects. At least the second intentional one. Speakerboxxx and The Love Below by Outkast. This record came out, I think, in like 2003, 2004, 2005, somewhere around there. Changed the game. Andre 3000 was on this rocket ship when Hey Ya came out and was this huge hit. But his side of the record is absolutely stunning. Every single track is really, really amazing. But the one that gets me, the one that it doesn't matter what mood I'm in, if it comes on, I'm in that mood, is She Lives in My Lap. That is such a fucking banger. Big Boy's side is amazing as well. Speakerboxxx has a ton of great music, a lot of Southern hip hop influence, but most importantly, just really like a kind of a technical marvel because Big Boy also produced it. So if somehow you haven't heard this record, check it out. It's really like in a way kind of Andre 3000's Bow Out, because Outkast released one record after this that was very separately done and then kind of just fell apart. So Outkast is one of the greatest acts of the 90s, in my opinion. And if you agree, you can check out their music and all the other picks we've made in the history of this show over the course of the last 41 episodes. You can check that out. It's there's about 1,300 songs on this playlist now because it's pretty dense. Because when you keep adding full records, it's going to add up. So check out Weirded Night Selects. Ash Maddie's going to drop a link to the chat right now. And with that, we got to pay some bills. Blazing Space is coming up, but we got to pay some bills real quick. So let me take that down before I move on. Like a good guy. All right. So let's get to the sponsors here. Okay. This would have been for the status quo, but Finecore wants to tell us that art is stupid. Okay. Enjoy poverty, I guess, because they're not giving us any more money. Oh, it's so scary. You're so scary. What will we do without your money, Finecore? Finecore Pizza? They add pubes now, losers. Wow. Wow, they're not even trying to be successful anymore. This is just like a very dark turn. And the one that remains. Don's long gone. Hedge fund capital asset acquisitions and exchange company firm. A Finecore company. Money rules, yum, 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 coin, 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 chew, chew, chew. Send down all your money, something will happen. Wow. Wow. So a little act of vandalism by our flailing friends over at Finecore. Don't be alarmed, friends. We have, something tells me I think we got them right where we want them. If you want to make album recs, by the way, you can do that in our Discord on our Recs channel. Do go check that out, but right now, let's hear from someone else.
What's the story, Wishbone? What's this you're dreaming of? Such big imagination on such a little bug. What's the story, Wishbone?
One of the old Hermetic masters wrote long ages ago, "He who grasps the truth of the mental nature of the universe is well advanced on the path to mastery." And these words are as true today as at the time they were first written. Without this master key, mastery is impossible.
A calculator is not going to solve all of your problems. It's just a tool.
Yeah, I mean, I have a calculator, but I still have trouble with fractions and percentages.
I know. Look, this one has a special button for percent.
Welcome to the future, Joe.
Thanks, David. Thanks a lot.
Yes, Joe, you can bring your calculator to check your work. Just be careful. The calculator is only a tool.
I'm beginning to feel like I've built the time machine in vain. Gad, Zooks! Come to the future ill-equipped. Perhaps there. Please, take me to that palace of green porcelain.
Oh, well, hello, Weird at Night. It's
nice to see you, actually. How are you? I've been... Sorry, you caught me in my Fine Corp bunker. We gotta find places to be safe. I was just doing some research. I don't know if you've heard, but it's kind of hard to breathe out here in the Pacific Northwest. That's better. How's it going? Oh, hey Fine Corp, are you watching? Are you watching this show? Go fuck yourself. Hey Ryan Bryan, I bet you're tuning in as well. Yeah, that's how I feel. Because I might be able to say attack with Fine Corp. But at least for now, I cannot. And I've been thinking a lot. I've been going through a lot of my books, getting into some deep philosophy, and just, you know, trying to piece this all together. How are we going to defeat this corporation? You know, at what point can we change this control into something positive and great? I mean, you know, I'm blazing space. I want to blow it. I want it to be saturated and pretty and experienceable for everyone. And it's been hard with Fine Corp around. So I've been getting deeper into something that I've been into in the past called the Kybalion. Which is a book written by 3 initiates of the Hermetic philosophy. I think it was put together in text in the 1910s, at least the Kybalion that I've come in contact with. But this goes all the way back to Hermes in Egypt. You might have heard of the name Hermes. He's a god of wisdom in a few different cultures. But Hermes was a person known as, you know, to be like a contemporary of Abraham.
What's the Greek god you see the most influence of in your everyday life? Wrong, it's Hermes. Hermes, 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 Hermes. Kinda hope you're not dealing with that daily, but still Hermes. Hermes, known to the Romans as Mercury, was the ancient Greek god of roads, journeys, merchants, thieves, athletes, trickery, and a handful of other related things. He was predominantly recognized as a messenger god, but he was also revered as an underworld god and a psychopomp responsible for guiding the souls of the dead. He also pulled a triple shift guiding dreams and had a hobby on the side of helping out mortal heroes when they got wrapped up in sticky situations.
You know, he's sort of the father of occultism, if you will. And the Kybalion talks a lot about the transmutation of energy. And one of the fascinating things that I always find about it, because I'm fascinated with the conversion of hate into Fine Corp. It's one of the ways that I think it's the best to attack with Fine Corp. So, yeah, I wanted to talk about the 7 laws of the Kybalion, because I thought that maybe the best way to get over this Fine Corp thing is to show them how much we can be without corporate sponsorship. Okay, you don't want corporate sponsorship for a show? Then I'm going over your head in philosophy lectures. So here we go, the 7 principles, the 7 scientific principles that govern all of reality. This is from the Kybalion. Okay, so the 7 principles are: 1, mentalism. The universe creates mentally. We exist mentally. The only creation that's possible to occur without destroying something else. You know, as we know, energy can't be destroyed, it can only be converted. The only way I've experienced, and it's explained in the Kybalion that it's been experienced, to create without destruction is by mentally creating. You have an idea, you've pulled something out of a timeless sphere, you've taken something from a universal perspective and brought it into the now, which is very much what artists do. So the principle of mentalism, that the all exists mentally, we exist mentally, the universe creates mentally. Law number 2, the law of correspondence.
2. The principle of correspondence. As above, so below. As below, so above. The Kybalion. This principle embodies the truth that there is always a correspondence between the laws and phenomena of the various planes of being and life. The old Hermetic axiom ran in these words: as above, so below. As below, so above. And the grasping of this principle gives one the means of solving many a dark paradox and hidden secret of nature.
Hey guys. Hey Mrs. Talbot.
How'd it go, Joe?
With the time machine, well, what is it? What does it look like? What should it look like?
You don't need a machine to travel to exciting places. After all, who needs horsepower when you've got brain power? Books can take you anywhere, so open one up to start your journey.
All right, we're at about the halfway point of the show here. Want to thank you all for hanging out. Hope you're having a fun time with us. Thanks for Blazing Space for clarifying. And I think there's more to come. So we do have some questions in the chat. One is from Ash Maddie, who asked me, who is my favorite New Kid and why? If you don't know who the New Kid is or what that refers to, it's very likely reference to New Kids on the Block. I don't know most of the New Kids on the Block. I would say Donnie Wahlberg is probably my favorite just because he lit a hotel room on fire and almost went to jail. Did he go to jail? Maybe he actually went to jail. He was the most interesting one. I mean, I guess. So yeah. Meredith asked, how do you think Kurt Vonnegut would write about this year? I think this might have broken his smug demeanor kind of in the face of these things generally. I think he probably would have been a little clenched up just like the rest of us. I'm sure he would find a brilliant way to summarize it all, though. Ash Maddie, how come you don't have Jack Panda on the show in frame with you so you can talk to him like Letterman and Schaefer? Why? What does Jack Panda have to say? Has he ever said anything? Even when he was here? I never saw him. I mean, that little rat-faced piece of shit. Ash Maddie is clashing with me a little bit on this Outcast thing. Sorry, we have to differ. We have to differ. I prefer the Andre side of the record, but they're both great. It's a fantastic record. So while we're here, real quick, while people are going and peeing and doing whatever they're going to do, just wanted to let you all know about September. You can get 20% off 1 month, 25% off 3 months, or 30% off 6 months. If you start your subscription, renew it, or extend it, you can do it at a big discount. Every sub is a huge help to the Weird at Night crew. We love making this show and have done it basically for free up to now, but it would be amazing to have your support, especially in a time like the one we're living in. Starting Saturday, all subscribers are going to be listed as executive producers in the credits at the end of the show. So join the team and let the world know you're a part of it. Also, wanted to just quickly bring your attention to the Shop of Juan, which is another way you can support our show and our crew here. Let's see. So, we got the Shop of Juan. I just lost my place for a second like a real professional here. So you can see we have Blazing Space logo merch, hats, shirts. We have, and we'll take a closer look at one of these Blazing Space shirts real quick. This is Shine a Light on white or silver. I personally think these silver shirts are super cool looking. That is what it looks like on silver. I wear that as an alternative to white because if I get a stain on it, it's not as noticeable. That is how I judge my fashion choices. This is a very underrated design that we just haven't talked much about. Psychoanalyze your parents. Failure is our heritage. It's a funny shirt. I really, really like it. I'm going to get one soon for myself. You can get those on bags or, shirts or a whole variety of things. Hats. This is my hat, the hat that I wear on the show, the Weird at Night snapback hat. I can vouch for this. This is a fantastically made product. Love it. I got it in navy because I think it just looks cooler with the other light blue, but it's also available in black. We have a ton of stuff, but one more thing I want to quickly point out is Matt Jenkins designs on Weird at Night. Matt Jenkins, for those of you who don't know, is an animator, artist of all medias, painter. So, I mean, it would be silly to even try to explain it all. But Matt has contributed a number of animations to Weird at Night that he then made some really exclusive, cool designs out of. But when you see somebody listed individually here, as is the case with Matt or Blaze in Space, the artists get 100% of the profits from these sales. We want to support our community. We want to lift each other up. If we don't have Finecore anymore, this is how we're going to do it. So I really appreciate y'all taking a look. And check it out when you have a minute. But for now, we're moving into the second half of this show. So it's been a little time in between, but the work of one Jake Hansen, who moniker of Truly Bogus, and a great guy who I've known for a number of years, talked at a lot of shows. We're going to look at some of his work. He's a contributor to KEXP, Not a Mucho, and a variety of others. Freak Out Records, has captured a ton of live photos, but also a bunch of studio work as well. Kind of has a keen eye for vibe and just emotion of a live set. So many local artists pose for portraits under his lens as well, which was what we did the last time we looked at Jake's work. In part 1, we looked at portraiture. And tonight we debut the second part. So let's get looking at that. So this is Acid Tongue, kind of a pretty well-known psych band on Freak Out. And some of that Brain Trust. That's another Acid Tongue picture from the Neptune. This is Shayna Shepherd from Barax, who you've definitely seen on this show by this point. If you haven't seen Barax before, this was taken at Numos in 2019. This is Beverly Crusher at the Sunset, and Beverly Crusher is a band that will make it to the Weird at Night Selects playlist very soon. They're excellent. A Shot of Cataldo. This is one of the first artists that Jake had met when he came to Seattle in 2006. This is a Mosh Pit at Barboza, and then Crowd Surf at the Tractor, taken at the Freak Out Festival during the Grizzled Mighty set, which is not hard to believe if you've ever seen the Grizzled Mighty. This is Deep Sea Diver at the Showbox. The first band Jake ever photographed live and is good friends with. This is Great Grandpa at KEXP. They have been really climbing the ladder for a long time. It's great to see their success. Kung Fu Grip at the Nectar Lounge. And then we will move to part 2 here. This is Naked Giants at the Tractor. Jake really loves these guys and says that for his money, they're the best live band in town. Big words. Jake's seen a ton of shows. This is Alma Mater, which is in Tacoma, and it's an amazing new venue. That Sisters there. Alma Mater is really was on the rise before COVID hit, and I hope they'll be able to stick around. Steal Shit, Do Drugs at the Cha-Cha. I love this band. They remind me a lot of the Dead Kennedys, in some interesting ways. This is our friends, the Black Tones at Numos. Taken just after they had wrapped their set and released their new record. And lastly, this is acclaimed band Thunder Pussy in all their glory. So this is just, again, some more work from Jake Hansen. Thank you very much for sharing it with us, Jake. Also, check out Jake's links that Ash Maddie's dropping in the chat, as well as Not a Mucho, who Jake took a lot of these pictures for. They do a lot of great coverage of local artists and local music, which we still need, even in times of COVID. So make sure that you give them, bookmark the site, give them a follow on a social. It's all helpful and very much appreciated. So moving right along. Oh, the one thing I didn't say that I should have is that the in the case of merch or anything like that, subscriptions, if you're not flush with cash, hey, we understand, neither are we. So just a follow to the channel is a huge help. It definitely just helps us continue to reach people, and we really appreciate your attention and your participation in this community. It's really great to see it continue to grow. So, big announcement, starting very soon, Twitch has implemented what's called a watch party, where if you have Amazon Prime, I can log in and find movies that I can then watch with you on Twitch. And we talk about so many movies and so much pop culture shit on this show. I thought, why not on a non-Weird at Night night? So, you know, just like a school, you all have your school nights or whatever. Tuesday and Saturday are my school nights. But what I'd love to do is some other day during that week or weekend, at a time that we can all kind of choose together in the Discord. So please join our Discord. I'd love to figure out the best time and day for us to do this and start doing it every week. We've talked about the holy trilogy of Hulk Hogan movies. We've talked about Twin Peaks, Bill and Ted, Gremlins. I just watched Naked Gun. Just watched, what the hell else did I just watch? I don't even remember what I just watched. Anyway, we're watching stuff. Some of it's just glorious and some of it's glorious trash, which if you really knew us, you know is right where we want to be. Glorious trash is the Weird at Night currency that we tend to trade in. So join the Discord. I'm going to start a conversation over there tomorrow, and we will figure out the best time and days of the week to do this watch party, and then we'll start doing them because I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So be on the lookout. But until...
The latest rage for kids is driving parents and entire neighborhoods crazy. It's called a whistle tip, and it's welded inside a car's muffler to make the car screechingly loud for nearly a mile.
The law of number 3, vibration. Everything vibrates. Nothing rests. Everything is in motion. This book seems solid, but these molecules are just dense and moving really quickly together. And there is a reality where my hand goes through that book. 4, rhythm. Everything has rhythm. Everything goes back and forth. 5, polarity. Everything has its poles. Good, bad. Fine corp. Hate, fear, courage, everything. North, south, hot and cold. What is the difference between hot and cold? It's all one vibration, simply vibrating at a separate rate. And by the law of correspondence, we can use the law of polarity to say, of course, hot has to have cold. Everything has its poles. I have my poles. You have your poles. The universe has its poles of opposites. Law number 6, the law of cause and effect. Pretty self-explanatory. And the law number 7, gender. Everything has gender. Everything male has female. Everything female has male. Everything has the spectrum of gender, which is very much created, goes back to the creation story in the Kybalion. They describe it as, you know, we have the Father God and the Mother Earth. So in that way, even some of our most basic understandings have gender. But I also, as a non-binary person, I'm a spectrum of gender. So I relate to that law.
Ryan, you're gonna have to learn to let go.
But
I want to hear you say you're gonna make it. Come on, Ryan, say it.
I'm gonna make it.
Where are you? Tell me what you see.
Where are you driving to?
Just drive.
One thing. Can't beat the view.
And what's the point of going on? What's the point of living? Still, it's a matter of what you do now. If you decide to go, then you gotta just get on with it. Sit back, enjoy the ride. You gotta plant both your feet on the ground and start living life.
Law number 8, I'm adding juggalos. I tend to be, just as a rule, skeptical of information I get from juggalos. But I heard something about Shaggy Two Dogs that was actually very interesting. I guess he has some daughters now, and of course people have probably heard that ICP, you know, was like, we're not gonna have concerts and we want to be respectful about COVID and things like that. And people are like, what, them? Because their music's stupid. Well, it turns out Shaggy Two Dogs is very well aware that the music he made when he was younger is stupid. And when people ask him, you know, do you regret that? Do you wish you could change lyrics? And he says, no, I don't, because that's how an idiot sounds. And I want my daughters to know what an idiot sounds like, and that you shouldn't be into that shit. And so, you know, I got respect for that. And so, I've got to bring it back to the 7 laws that the Kybalion give me, because my don't trust juggalo law doesn't check out, because Shaggy Two Dogs is actually pretty cool. Well, I think we can already tell from the philosophical ramblings that I've been going on here that we are absolutely going to defeat Fine Corp, because y'all, we're just fucking smarter than them. And they know it.
Fine Corp.
Attack with Fine Corp. Attack with...
Tell me about the whistles.
The whistles got woo!
Anybody that has it in their neighborhood is going to be totally driven crazy.
It sounds like what?
When you want to woo woo, it's that woo woo. You know what I'm saying? Then you got the flows. They didn't trip off the flow masters.
That decoration, man. It's just for decoration. That's it and that's all, man. We do it for decoration.
You have it on your car?
Yeah, I got it on my car.
It was being installed on their car. Roxanne Brunn says the high-pitched tone, like the squeal of a BART train that doesn't stop, is keeping her awake at night. Police have told her it is legal.
They think it's a fad. It's going to go away. It's not going away.
And it's driving you nuts.
It's driving me nuts. I work at home. I can't concentrate when it goes on for hours.
Some neighbors are saying way too loud.
That's only in the morning. You're supposed to be up cooking breakfast or somebody, and so that's like an alarm clock. Woo woo!
Thank you, Blazing Space. Thank you, Weird at Night. Thank you, community. Thank you for your trust and your time. At the end of the day, we always say it, time is our greatest resource. It's more valuable than every dollar that's ever been printed. 1 second of your life. It's really more important than any dollar you've ever made. So thank you for spending it here. I guess when I'm really thinking about how to wrap this all up, I guess the reason that people like Fine Corp, who tirelessly pursue power even beyond reason and money, the reason that they need us to be greed monsters who only look out for ourselves and don't give a shit about anybody else, is because it justifies the fact that that's what they do. And it makes us somebody they want to be a part of their thing. But that's not what Weird at Night is. I didn't do this to make $1 million here. I did this to make friends, or just like have a place for my friends to come and chill out with me while we're streaming. And here we are, here we're doing it. And sure, we got merch, we got subscriptions, so we got all that bullshit. But at the end of the day, without you, without all the people who are actually in the chat and watching right now, the show wouldn't be shit. There wouldn't be a show. There wouldn't be a stream. Nothing to do. Nothing to do. So I say, we fucking keep these smiles on our faces. We ignore these stupid people. They're not actually more talented than you. They're not smarter than you. They just have the money and the will to dehumanize. So just ignore it, because all that messaging that they're paying for, if it's not getting through, they're just wasting their time. Fine Core, we figured you out, and I know that someday, very soon, you're on your way out. But until then, my friends, my fellow creatures of the nights, this has been Weirded Nights. I'm Patrick Galactic. Please come and watch our back episodes on our Twitch channel. Give us a follow, a subscribe. Check out the shop I want. Do something! Meredith! Play us out!
Grandmother spider, weave sigiled web for the rain, grandmother spider. Weave your sigiled web for the rain, grandmother spider. Weave your sigiled web for the rain, grandmother spider. Weave your sigiled web for the rain, grandmother spider. Weave your sigiled web for the rain, grandmother spider. Weave your sigiled web for the rain. Why are you so slow, grandmother? Why are you so slow for the rain?
One, two, 3.